They looked me straight in the eye, my own mother and father, dressed in their Sunday best for the occasion, standing right there on the lush green lawn outside the auditorium, where they'd just seen both of their daughters accept a diploma, and my father's voice, usually a booming thing, was strangely quiet as he said, "We're so proud of times her asterisk." And he gestured to my sister, asterisk, asterisk, Clara asterisk, asterisk, with a slight, almost imperceptible nod of his head, before turning to me and adding the words that still, to this day, feel like a brand on my soul. Asterisk, asterisk, she deserved it, but you didn't. Asterisk, asterisk, my entire life. Every late-night study session, fueled by cheap coffee and desperation. Every extra shift I worked to pay my own way through the very same degree my twin sister got handed on a silver platter. All of it just evaporated into the sharp, late spring air, replaced by that one, blunt, soul-crushing sentence. Was I wrong for the calculated, absolutely brutal way I decided to make them understand the Dections? Full weight of what they had done, not just to my bank account, but to my heart? Tell me, honestly, if you would have stood there and taken that verbal slap in the face on what was supposed to be the proudest day of your life, or if you would have started plotting your own graduation speech, one they certainly hadn't paid for. The story really starts 22 years ago, the day Clara and I were born, identical twins, a fact that seemed to immediately confuse my parents, not biologically, but emotionally. From the jump, we were treated like two halves of a whole, but one half was consistently, undeniably deemed the asterisk asterisk better asterisk asterisk half. Clara was always the charming one, the natural beauty, the social butterfly. I was the smart one, the driven one, the one who didn't need a lot of fuss. These labels, seemingly innocuous at the time, were the first bricks in the wall they built between us. A wall that shielded Clara from responsibility and left me standing in a perpetual, cold draft of expectation. It started with little things. Clara got the newest clothes, I got her hand-me-downs, even though we were the same size. Clara got the bigger, sunnier bedroom, I got the small one facing the alley. When we turned 16, Clara got a gently used but perfectly functional car for her birthday. A cute little sedan. I got a textbook on advanced calculus with a note inside that read, "You'll appreciate this more, it will get you further in life." Framed it as tough love, as preparing me for the real world, while Clara was apparently being prepared for a fairy tale. This pattern accelerated as we approached college. We both had excellent grades. We both applied to the same state university for a business degree, an agreement we'd made in our shared room one late night. We were accepted at the same time, receiving our fat envelopes on the same Tuesday. That evening, my parents called us both down to the living room, a rare event reserved for major family. Announcements. My dad, sipping his scotch, cleared his throat and delivered the news. Asterisk, asterisk, Clara, asterisk, asterisk, your mother and I are so proud of you. We've set up a fund that will cover your full tuition, housing, books, and a generous stipend for all 4 years. You just focus on enjoying college. Clara, bless her heart, was genuinely thrilled. She hugged them both, her face alight with joy. Then, they turned to me. I was waiting, my heart thumping a hopeful rhythm against my ribs. My mom, looking uncomfortable but determined, spoke. "And asterisk asterisk you asterisk asterisk, sweetie, are so asterisk asterisk resourceful asterisk asterisk. We know you'll figure it out. We've always said you're the more financially savvy one. Plus, we want to see you develop that incredible drive. This is your chance to really prove yourself." They then handed me a pamphlet for the university's financial aid office. Not a scholarship application, not a small savings bond, a asterisk asterisk pamphlet asterisk asterisk. The subtext was a siren blare. "We believe in Clara's right to an easy life. We believe in your ability to suffer for yours." The ensuing 4 years were a blur of exhausting, soul-crushing work. While Clara joined a sorority, went on ski trips during winter break, and complained about having too much homework, I worked 3 jobs: a night shift at a 24-hour diner, a weekend gig tutoring high school kids, and a work-study position shelving books in the library. I had to maintain a near-perfect GPA to keep my few meager grants and scholarships, and every penny I earned went straight to tuition or rent for the dingy. shared apartment I could barely afford off campus, while Clara lived in a brand new dorm with a built-in coffee shop. There were times I would see her on campus, laughing with friends, looking rested and carefree, and the resentment would build into a cold, hard knot in my stomach. She never offered to help, not once. To her, this was just the natural order of things, a perk of being the favored child. She would occasionally say, "I wish I had your discipline, sis," entirely missing the fact that my discipline was a necessity born of their abandonment, not a choice. I never spoke to them about the unfairness of it all. I tried once, early on in my freshman year. I was exhausted, failing to pay a utility bill, and I called my mother in tears. I asked her why the difference was so stark. Her response was chillingly simple. "Clara is fragile, dear. She needs to be nurtured. You are strong. You are like a sturdy oak. You don't need constant watering." I hung up, the sturdy oak comment echoing in my mind. It wasn't a compliment. It was an excuse to neglect me. From that day forward, I vowed I would never ask them for another thing. I would finish. I would succeed. And I would do it *** without *** them. Proving not that I was strong, but that *** they *** were weak in their commitment to their own child. I cut back on everything, ate ramen for what felt like years, and powered through, motivated by a desire not just for a degree but for ** vindication ***. Clara, meanwhile, breezed through. She chose an easy major, switched it 3 times, and ultimately graduated with a slightly lower GPA than mine, but a massive debt-free head start on life. She even had the audacity to ask me for advice on her final paper, and when I gave her extensive notes, she forgot to thank me. That was the thing about Clara. She wasn't malicious. She was simply oblivious, a product of their relentless favoritism. She genuinely thought she deserved it more because she was the creative one, or the one who worried more. She'd been taught that the world, and specifically her family, was there to catch her. I'd been taught that the world was a high wall, and the only way over was to climb, bloody knuckles and all. The weeks leading up to graduation were a whirlwind. I finalized my plans. I had secured an amazing, high-paying job in a prestigious firm. A job I got entirely through my own networking and the sheer power of my perfect transcript. Clara, on the other hand, was still exploring options and planning a celebratory European trip, courtesy of Mom and Dad. They talked about her trip constantly, asking her about destinations and booking hotels. They never asked me what I was doing after graduation. They just assumed I'd be fine, the sturdy oak, remember? The ceremony arrived, a beautiful, slightly emotional affair. We were sitting next to each other, both wearing the ridiculous cap and gown, smiling for the obligatory photos. When they called our names, first Clara's, then mine, the crowd clapped. My parents were in the 3rd row beaming. I felt a fleeting moment of hope. A stupid, idiotic thought that maybe, maybe they'd finally see me. See the monumental effort it took. And offer a real, genuine acknowledgement. And then we get to the scene I started with. We were outside, surrounded by balloons and families, and that terrible, isolating statement was delivered ***. She deserved it, but you didn't. The implication was devastating. I didn't deserve a comfortable education. I didn't deserve their full support. My success was a side effect of the struggle they forced upon me, not a cause for their unconditional pride. It was then, standing there, diploma clutched in my hand, debt payments already looming in my mind, that the plan crystallized. I looked at their smug, self-satisfied faces, the faces of people who thought they were giving a lesson in character building, when all they were doing was showing me their conditional love. I just smiled, a thin, almost invisible curve of my lips, and simply said, "Well, it certainly took a lot of effort," before walking away, leaving them and Clara standing awkwardly alone. So that's the situation I was in. I had just achieved the most significant milestone of my young life, but instead of celebration, I was hit with the final, definitive proof that my worth was measured by how little I required of them. I had the degree, the job, the financial independence I'd craved, but I also had this gaping wound of parental rejection. And I had to make a choice. let it go and be the bigger person, or use the formidable resources and intelligence I had fought for to hit back where it would hurt the most. Not their feelings, but their perception of control and their beloved Clara ***. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have let it go for the sake of peace, or would you have engineered a devastating, public-facing payback? I truly need to know if I was justified. I went home to my small apartment, ignoring my phone's incessant buzzing, with texts from Clara, excited about her post-graduation party. I had my own celebration to plan. My parents' biggest pride point, the one they constantly bragged about, wasn't Clara or me, but their beautiful, sprawling retirement home, which they had finished paying off only a year ago. It was their dream, their ultimate symbol of success, the place they planned to grow old in, filled with expensive antiques and a meticulously landscaped garden. The home was in a highly desirable, rapidly appreciating neighborhood. I knew they were planning to use the equity in that house as the basis for their financial portfolio, perhaps even take out a massive home equity line of credit for Claire's inevitable lavish wedding. My plan focused entirely on this anchor of their security. The very next day, I didn't attend Clara's party. Instead, I called the family attorney, an older gentleman who had done their estate planning for years. This wasn't a part of the plan, but an accidental opportunity presented itself. See, a few years ago, when I turned 18, they made Clara and me sign some documents, legal formalities they said that were necessary for their new estate plan. They never let me read the documents closely, just told me to sign under the big yellow sticky note, and because I trusted them stupidly. I know, but I was 18 and preoccupied with my first year of college debt. I signed. As it turned out, one of those documents wasn't a formality at all. It was a promissory note, a legal agreement where I, at their instruction, had technically loaned them a significant, interest-free sum of money that was supposedly mine from an old trust fund my maternal grandmother had set up. The trust fund, it turned out, had only been large enough to cover the initial down payment on their house, but since I was the financially savvy one, they'd had me sign the note, effectively making the down payment an interest-free loan from times them. Asterisk. With the understanding that it would be paid back times someday asterisk. It was a complete fiction, a sleight of hand to avoid paying a high capital gains tax years earlier, but the document itself was legally binding and set a repayment date for 5 years from the signing. Well, guess what? I graduated 5 years, to the day after I signed that note. It was now due. The total amount, factoring in the reasonable interest I calculated they would have paid a bank, was substantial enough to be a serious financial blow, but not enough to ruin them. I had another plan for that. My first call wasn't to collect, though. It was to the attorney. I asked him very casually about the exact, non-negotiable repayment date on that old promissory note. He checked his files, confirmed the date was, in fact, yesterday, the day of our graduation. I then informed him that I would be calling him back in a few days to discuss the immediate collection of the full amount, adding, in a perfectly professional tone, that I would be expecting them to pay the legally required interest for late payment. But the real chess move, the part that targeted their favorite child and their pride, was yet to come. I started by getting in contact with Clara's fiancé, a sweet, somewhat oblivious man named David. I told David that I had an amazing opportunity and wanted to treat them both to a truly memorable celebration dinner before Clara left for her big trip. David, delighted, agreed. I booked a private room at the most exclusive, intimidatingly expensive restaurant in town, a place my parents had always wanted to go but said was too ostentatious, that is to say, too expensive. I made sure my parents knew about the dinner, framing it as Clara's celebratory thank you to them, a narrative they immediately loved. The night of the dinner arrived. It was just the 5 of us, me, Clara, David, Mom, and Dad. Everyone was dressed up. My parents were giddy with the prestige of the location. They kept telling the waiter how proud they were of Clara. I said nothing. I let them bask in the reflected glory they had manufactured. The conversation predictably revolved entirely around Clara's plans, her trip, and her future. At one point, my mother raised her glass and said, "To Clara, who always manages to come out On top without breaking a sweat. Thank goodness you're not as hard on yourself as your sister is. That was my cue. I waited until the main course was served, and the wine was flowing. I cleared my throat, not dramatically, but just enough to command attention. I actually have a toast I want to make too, I announced. All eyes turned to me, slightly surprised. I want to toast my parents, I continued, lifting my glass. Thank you both for everything you taught me over the past 4 years. Specifically, thank you for teaching me the value of hard work, self-reliance, and most importantly, the extreme cost of conditional love, My parents' smiles instantly froze. Clara looked confused. I've spent the last 4 years paying my own way through college, working 3 jobs, maintaining a perfect GPA, and graduating debt-free. All while my sister, who is equally intelligent, got a free ride. You told me yesterday that she deserved it, but you didn't. That was a powerful lesson. You taught me to value my worth through my actions, not through your approval. And I took that lesson to heart. I put my glass down, maintaining perfect eye contact with my father. So here's the result of that lesson, I said, pulling out 2 crisp, official-looking documents from my jacket pocket. First, Dad, Mom, you might remember this. It's the promissory note you had me sign 5 years ago for the down payment on your beautiful retirement home. That amount, plus the legally required interest for being 1 day late, is now officially due. I've instructed the family attorney to begin the collection process immediately. The house is the only substantial asset you have to secure that loan. Their faces went white. My mother gasped. Clara stammered, "What are you talking about? What loan?" I ignored Clara and turned to David. David, congratulations on your upcoming engagement to Clara. I'm very happy for you. I then turned back to my parents and delivered the final, devastating blow, the one that hit their pride, their narrative, and their chosen child all at once. You see, Mom and Dad, I also graduated at the top of my class and secured a spectacular high-paying job. Clara, however, is unemployed and is flying to Europe on your money not mine or hers. I, however, am now in a position to buy a home. I paused for the effect. And since your house is the perfect size and in the ideal location for my commute, and since I need to recoup the money you owe me, I've had my bank and my legal team put together an offer to purchase your home. It's a very generous offer, one that will clear the debt you owe me, and leave you with a substantial amount to find a much smaller, less ostentatious place. It's a cash offer, full price, no contingencies, and I expect an answer by the end of the week. I pushed the second document, the official offer to purchase, across the table. You didn't think I deserved a free ride, so I created one for myself, funded by the very asset you thought was exclusively yours. You taught me to be resourceful. I am simply collecting the cost of my education from the most logical source. The silence in that private room was so thick you could taste it. My mother began to cry, small, pathetic sobs. My father's face was a mask of cold fury and sheer, unadulterated shock. Clara, finally understanding the scope of the disaster, turned on me, her eyes blazing. You can't do this. You're ruining their life. It's their home. I simply met her gaze, no emotion on my face, and said, No, Clara. I'm giving them a fantastic return on my investment. The investment they forced me to make in myself. They taught me money talks. They taught me to take what I was due. I'm simply graduating from the school of hard knocks they put me in. The payment is now due. David, bless his heart, awkwardly excused himself and left, realizing he was sitting at a table with an emotional grenade. I stood up, looked at the ruined, expensive meal, and said, Thank you for the dinner, Mom and Dad. I'll be in touch with the attorney regarding the closing date. Enjoy your trip, Clara. You deserve it. And I walked out, leaving them in the ruins of their carefully constructed narrative. The aftermath was exactly what I had anticipated. A week of frantic calls, angry voicemails, and a desperate visit from my mother, who begged and pleaded. I stood firm. I didn't want the house to be mean. I wanted it because I genuinely liked the area and it solved two problems: my housing and their debt. But most importantly, it shattered their complacency. They ultimately accepted the offer. They had no real choice. The debt was real, and the legal documentation was ironclad. The irony was so thick it was suffocating. The money I earned working 3 minimum wage jobs paid for my tuition, and the debt they created for a tax dodge ended up buying their retirement dream home for me. They had to downsize, significantly, moving into a much smaller, far less prestigious home on the other side of town. The sturdy oak had just rooted itself in the most valuable plot of land they owned. Clara's European trip was dramatically shortened. The embarrassment and the realization that her easy life was contingent on my parents' secure finances finally hit her. She realized her parents weren't just favoring her, they were sacrificing me for her comfort. She has since gotten a job, finally, and has started paying off a small amount of credit card debt she accumulated on the trip. My relationship with my parents is permanently fractured. I speak to them on major holidays, and it's always tense. They never bring up the house or the money, but they look at me with a strange mixture of fear and resentment. They respect me now, in a cold, distant way, but they don't love me the way they loved the easy, pliable version of their daughter. The one they dismissed. So, that's the end of the story. The full, unedited truth of how I got my revenge for 4 years of being the second-class child. I didn't just graduate. I took the final exam on their flawed parenting, and I passed with flying colors. I proved that the child they saw as too strong to need nurturing was actually strong enough to claim what was hers, and a little bit more. The moral of the story, I suppose, is this: never tell a highly driven, financially desperate twin that she doesn't deserve the same support as her sister, because that fire you light under her is going to consume a whole lot more than just her tuition bill. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. Like this video if you were absolutely on my side for sticking it to them, and hit that subscribe button for more shocking, true stories from the deepest corners of Reddit. And please share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section. Did they deserve to lose the house, or did I go too far? I'll see you all in the next story.